gentlemen, in the top left-hand corner of the map Ohana, we have our Orange Terran player from the team FXO, none other than Gumiho. And his opponent down here in the bottom right-hand corner, up 1-0 in this best of 9, is our Blue Protoss player and reigning Fight Club champion, Creator.
All right, so it's Ohana Protoss versus Terran. Just creep, that's what we have to talk about on this map. Creep, man.
Creep.
Creep. What needs to be talked about every time you're on Ohana.
That's right.
Even if
when there's
Zergs
not Zerg
were
players.
banned from StarCraft, they actually were issued a class action ban suit, and all Zergs were banned, you'd still just reminisce about the good old days. Creep was too easy to spread on Ohana. So, guys, we've got Protoss versus Terran here. And this is not the strongest map for drop play. There's no area whatsoever really behind the main base, behind the natural. But that said, there is a pretty large main. Creator will be able, though, to hide his forges in a multitude of locations in order to go for such a build, which I do expect from here, by the way, in Game Number 2. Scaring his opponent so much with such an aggressive build in Game 1. I mean, 5 gates are builds that you use to kill players who open with, like, a 2-racks or something.
Right.
They just die to it. If they try to go for some 2-racks aggression and you hold it, counter 5 gate, you win. Creator, I think this game will play much more macro.
Yeah, and if you notice, though, Creator actually decided to go for the gateway first and scatter for proxies, because this is a pretty darn good map to drop down some proxy barracks. So it's good of him to look out for that, and he's certainly going to be safe here moving into the earlier parts of this game. Even sees the barracks as well, so he can get that gas on pretty normal time if he wants, but actually flips things around, going for second pylon, delaying gas for a bit and saving up his minerals.
Yeah, it looks like he's kind of in between deciding to go for that Nexus behind a Zealot and a...
well, this is just going to be a couple of Zealots, honestly. Yep. So he's going to put on like 2 Zealot pressure in addition to expanding, which is very fun.
Yeah, it's definitely going to have some potential here. It's great, as we were talking about earlier from Creator, you know, if he plays his greedy style, or his, we should say, his balanced style to be safe against Gumiho Greed, or Gumiho Aggression. Oh, goodness. I'm so flustered now, Kevin. Why are you so pretty in that purple shirt?
Oh, wow. Making me all hot and bothered now.
It is a little hot there. But I really thought it was the weather. But Gumiho, you know, he does have this aggression, making the Zealots. I like the decision here from Creator. If Gumiho tries to get too greedy, these Zealots will punish him.
Yeah, but this is still kind of a creative way to go about things for Creator here. We'll see how he follows this up. Scout gets a look at everything. And, yeah, it looks like Gumiho was thinking something maybe up too. Checks around, sees really abnormal timings on the Nexus and the gas in the cybernetics core.
Thoroughly enjoyable. I like that both players are checking so much. Probe going to get taken out while it tries to escape from the base of Gumiho. He says, no! You may not take these valuable documents back to your agenda.
Where are you going? You going nowhere.
Sorry if I stole your thunder. I wanted to share your thunder.
Right. Yes. I just like saying that.
A day in the life of Zeus.
Anyway, Zealot picks up on this. He's going to back away. 2 Marines, of course, can basically infinitely kite him. So that Zealot would die eventually, although it would be a very long and very boring battle. Although he'll just wait for his stalker friend to pop up, and then those Marines are dead meat.
You'd think they'd be long and boring, but in certain circumstances, Kevin.
Yeah.
When you know, there's no buildings left, Marines versus Zealots can be quite entertaining.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Marines versus Stalkers. Shout out to Axel Toss right now.
And look at this. Same strategy we saw last time from Gumiho. Actually did down to the second. So 1 racks expand into 2 barracks factory. So everything's looking exactly the same. In fact, if he decides to go for the Concusso shell right away, it will be the same thing we saw last time. No, stim. Okay, so that's an important difference because it changes up his basically all of his timings that he does from here on out.
We did point out last time the stim was late. It was a good 40, 50 seconds later than it should be. So Bunker's going to wrap up here, guys. Gumiho is looking pretty standard. His factory's about to complete. He's going to have 50 seconds on his starport. So overall, his timings actually will be great for stim to medevac drop here.
Yeah, but this is what we're used to seeing out of Creator. Creator puts down a robotic facility after his 3 gates, establishes a nice 2-base economy. Now, usually in traditional Creator style, we'll see many observers. He loves observers. We'll make up to 3 or 4 at a time. Not obviously at the very beginning of the game, but he'll frequently produce 2 while he double forges if he's going for that strategy.
Now, this is really intelligent out of Gumiho. Oh, but the Hellions got spotted there by Creator.
Were they? I don't know.
He got the Zelnaga Tower back. I know that. I heard it go down. I heard it go back up.
All right. Okay, so the intention there, of course, was that he would run those Marines forward, he would occupy the attention of the Stalker, pull it off of the Zelnaka Tower, and sneak a Hellion around the side.
But he isn't making any units. He's bringing the Stalker home from up top. We'll be returning that. Okay, he does warp in a Zealot and a Sentry in addition, but these Hellions are accruing over to the left-hand side of the map, getting ready to go for a run-by, most likely, as the medevac is about to complete here at the 740 mark. These are some extremely quick. These are the quickest, pretty much, that you're going to see. You can go for, yeah, they really are.
This is what Gumiho thought was going to happen in game number 1. This is the build that he designed to counter what Creator's doing. Creator's doing the very traditional Creator build. Second Observer just pops out. It's going to finish with the Robotics Babe. There's Double Forge, and we'll start to see Colossi. This is tried and true Creator. Gumiho designed this build to hit with a 3 Hellion drop at the same time that he attacks up the front with Stim. And let's see if he's able to pull it off.
Everything. Hellions are going to be dropping now. There's a Stalker and a Zealot and a Sentry to deal with these units. Force field goes down. You can see the Stalkers in the back getting in some nice focus fire. One Hellion goes down. Meanwhile, at the front, the Sentry is going to be pulled back. The Creator control. Will it be enough? Units in the main base have been cleaned up. Stalkers, probes off the line right now. The probes, quite a few of them going down. In fact, I'm surprised Creator didn't pull back a little bit quicker than that. And overall, he has lost 9 workers. Gumiho has got to be plenty happy with that.
9 workers killed, and Gumiho is 3/4 of the way done with the 3rd base. So that's what this was designed to do. Disrupt your opponent, get him off his strategy, get him to overcommit to units. But Creator has, to a degree, kind of seen through this. He's not making a bunch of units afterwards. He's not trying to stay safe to a follow-up. He says, all right, you did your damage. Here comes double probes, double upgrades, and Colossi. This is what I do.
Yeah, honestly, the amount that it's going to face Creator is somewhat limited. It's going to certainly slow down his 3rd base. I mean, this has to be translated into direct costs to Creator. He's still mining gas at full throttle. He has not changed back on that at all. And he's sitting still comfortably at 48 probes, which, simply put, I mean, you hold 24 probes on a page. That's exactly 2 pages. He's basically Wings of Liberty saturated on his bases. So he'll be moving to take his 3rd now, but he is a little bit behind as to where I bet he'd like to be at this moment.
I agree with that. I mean, but this is still the very traditional stuff. 6 gates out now. Second Colossus would like to be produced at the same time that he's going for this next base, because he doesn't want to delay himself too much, but that's the economic damage he took before. That's kind of the real effect it had.
We do see him going for the Twilight Council, enhances mobility ever so slightly with this army. As 1-1 is actually getting ready to complete, so he'll be able to start his 2-2 timings there perfectly.
All right, but now Gumiho is sitting comfortably on 3 bases. He's taken no pressure this game, and we're in for a bit of a macro game. I mean, one of these players could decide to go for a big 3-base huge push, but I don't think that's necessarily likely. I think we're just going to have a good, long, protracted, decent PvT.
Now, you know, I want to say that in those long, protracted games, I feel Gumiho, while he lacks somewhat in the ability to engage large-scale forces, his macro capabilities are incredibly strong. Do not be surprised ever the slightest if Gumiho winds up on 5 bases very quickly at 17 minutes into this game and mining off them. This is a player who we actually saw take all 7 bases on Metropolis, including the islands that have creep on them. He's a macro master. Creator at the same time, though, will just run away with those upgrades and kill you in the early stages of the late game. If you are a little bit too greedy, it's going to be really interesting seeing how the dynamic between these 2 players plays out in the later stages.
Gumiho is also kind of a sloppy player a little bit, and this isn't like a knock on him. This is actually almost a term of endearment.
Yeah, it's like a drunken brawler. I know where you're going with this, Gav.
He's very like, I'm going to make 12 barracks now, and I'm just going to decide to make 14 command centers, and we're just going to produce 1 million units, and I'm going to crush you, because that's kind of how he is. It's not very crisp. Creator's a very crisp player. At this moment, I should have exactly these upgrades, and I should have exactly this amount of units, and I should have exactly this defense prepared. So this is, again, a very big contrast of styles. So Gumiho has already made a few small mistakes. He's now about 1.5 minutes behind on his 2-2 timing, and he's actually going for vehicle plating level 1 right now, which I'm a little bit weirded out about, but hopefully that'll get switched here in just a bit. He had finished that armory way later than his 1-1 was done. He didn't go into his 2-2 afterwards, and maybe he just wants to get in with a strike now, and there's finally 2-2 started afterwards, but you can see what I was talking about. A little bit sloppy, but just very punch you in the face repeatedly.
Oh, yeah, completely. I mean, Gumiho, he's going to be coming in right now. In fact, with these medevacs towards the top, there are only 3 Stalkers. Point to Fenstrone. Goes down to secure the drop zone, and now we've got a dual-pronged attack. Gumiho also swinging in the left-hand side. There are definitely not enough units over here. Gumiho's going to get in some substantial damage over to the right. The medevacs are, well, kind of trapped right now with these Marauders that will be targeting down quite a number of Zealots, but this third is in so much trouble.
Oh my god, Gumiho is the smartest player in the world. Did you see what he just did? What does Creator do especially well? He goes to double forge, he goes to 3 base, and he bunkers up and puts groups of Stalkers everywhere so you can't drop him. Well, how do you drop him when he's got Stalkers everywhere? You put down a point defense drone. You make a Raven specifically for the purpose of doing a dual-pronged attack. I have never seen that employed against Creator. That was brilliant.
Well, Gumiho, having those medevacs fully sustained, did get out of there with them alive, I believe. That's them on the right-hand side. 2 of them do escape. The units, of course, forfeit, but not without having done a substantial amount of damage to Creator. Kevin, I agree. It was really impressive stuff there out of Gumiho, having the forethought to use that strategy against Creator.
Unbelievable. I'm so impressed with Gumiho's strategy in this game so far. So, we mentioned before, a very macro player, maybe a little bit sloppy, but a very intelligent player. He knows when his opponent is weak and he knows how to strike. And ladies and gentlemen, he's about to do it again.
Yeah, his production tab is full maxed out to the right-hand side right now, whereas Creator is just sitting on a couple of units making it a time. He does not have the money to start 3-3. He does not have the money to do much of anything. He had to replace that Nexus, replace quite a number of probes. We take a look at units lost. Gumiho's been doing damage.
Yeah, he has, and he's going to try and duck in here again in just a second. He talked about his ability to engage large-scale forces. We'll see if he can do it now. He actually loaded up, I'm not sure. No, okay, he's just got his forces a little bit split up at the moment. A pack of Marines and Marauders going to run around the side and actually going to target down a lot of stuff, and Creator can't pull everything back because he has to engage this force at the front.
I really like what Gumiho's doing right now. He manages to pick off the Colossus during it all. Finally, the units in the natural expansion are cleaned up, have killed a number of workers. Once again, however, in fact, not at all. Gumiho is looking like he wants to engage here.
And Creator's thrown off. Normally, he's got 3-3 at about this time. He hasn't even started it. He's been so thrown off his game. He's added dunk units or resources into units consistently, and he still does have a very strong force, as we can see in this kind of heads-up engagement here in the middle of the map, but we're starting to have ghosts added on now. No EMPs hitting those forces. I would have loved to see a couple of those. Gumiho could have honestly turned that engagement around.
He needs them for these Archons. They're not getting in great splash right now. He really needs to focus fire the Archons. Creator, I've been watching these Archons fire, and now they're going to start going down. He's been hitting individual units, whether it be a lone Viking or this one Marine that Gumiho kind of threw haphazardly to the side. I mean, Gumiho, as beautifully as that was played, Creator certainly could have target fired those Archons a little bit better.
Definitely. Gumiho has not received the benefit of this 4th base, so that's actually allowed Creator to get back on equal economic footing in this game. Now, this is going to be used very, very soon, and it's going to be all right when that actually hits, but for now, Creator had picked a decent moment to try and get in some aggression, but now as the ghost numbers start going up and there's no Colossi available, that's going to significantly weaken the Charge Light Archon force.
I agree completely, Kevin. I think the Creator is in for a little bit of trouble right now. He's going to be retreating here. He's lost the Archons. He's lost the Colossi, all those valuable, expensive splash damage units that Gumiho didn't necessarily have the units necessary. I mean, he had some ghosts, but he used them incorrectly.
Yes.
But then the splash damage from Creator's Archons was completely wasted. And now Creator's in this really difficult spot where he has to hold off this impending attack with no splash damage whatsoever.
Yeah, Gumiho's got to watch out, though, because he can't get too aggressive. Great job with the SCVs, healing them up and allowing them to absorb damage, but all of his units weren't up at the front, and that allows the Charge Lights to get a really nice engagement on this force. There's a ton of supply here that's sunk into medevacs, too. He's got to pick up and get out of there.
He does. The Archons are really, really close, so he doesn't want to stop the medevacs or let them clump up. There's very limited anti-air. 3 more medevacs actually coming to join the fray. Suddenly, the units are turning around for Gumiho, and he's actually going to kill off a ton of units here for Creator. Stutter stepping for the last few Zealots and Archon, but now he's going to come forwards, clean up. Stalkers, no, Colossus joins the field. Creator with only 100 supply, but he's going to have to GG out actually, as he had no supporting units. What a splash.
What a ridiculous game. I don't even know what to say about that one. I mean, that was kind of exactly what I expected going into this set. I thought
slugfest.
Yeah, I thought Gumiho would try to do something really weird. I thought he'd try to kill his opponent or put him really far behind at the beginning of the game. Yeah. And that's kind of how it played out, and Creator wasn't able to recover. But what a weird, just like two guys just slapping each other the whole time. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, I guess a little bit. I mean, he only killed 9 workers.
Yeah.
It's not really like a hit. It's kind of just like a...
It wasn't a haymaker.
It's like a butterfly kiss with your hands.
Stop it.
Get away from me. All right, guys. In the bottom left, we're going to introduce our players after a commercial break.
We'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Do it to that game, man.